want to talk about human-animal hybrids and humanoids. Because, Joe, why has it got to be a humanoid?
Why?
Because if you make it a few percentage points another animal or another creature, it's a gray area. There's no human rights. You have an animal rights movement. You have a human rights movement. There's no alien movement. Right. Aliens are real. They're creating human-animal hybrids that are a new creature never here on Earth. It's alien. So the aliens are already here. AI is alien. The chimeras are alien. Aliens are already here.
So you're saying they're making these human-animal hybrids so they can, harvest tissue from them?
That's just level 1.
What's level 2? What's level 8?
Because I'll tell you, for the best of my knowledge, a lot of people think, it's human harvesting of Falun Gong, or these Buddhists really healthy. That's big. That's going on because they still have a better non-rejection rate. The Bible says, the Old Testament, New Testament, which is pretty powerful. I know people misinterpret it, but it's ancient text. The people are there. Like you read Ezekiel, like 3 burning wheels land. Yeah. There's a blue firmament over its head. It gives me something to take. I take it, and I'm given the full data of the plan that the genetics has been infested, and God must destroy everyone.
Do you think that's an alien story?
Oh, it's 100%. But
that's what they always talk about. They always talk about that being an alien story. That's one of the primary stories when they talk about the Bible, Ezekiel's vision, a wheel within a wheel. They always talk
but if
about
you read
that.
It says floating off the ground in the Hebrew.
Yeah.
And the King James is pretty clear too. Floating comes a thing with a crystal firmament over its head. And then the face is shifting different creatures. It's like a video screen.
Well, if you think about how long it would take for an alien to get here, it really only makes sense that unless they have a constant base
they send a robot.
They visit, or if they came by themselves.
The Bible says, the Old Testament, a vampire conspiracy in that they are interdimensionally sucking the essence of our youth.
Right.
And they believe they're possessed by an off-world entity.
They do?
Yeah, and Joe, I've been on air 22 years. I don't get into aliens, metaphysical, religion, any of that. I've studied the elite. And I've also communicated with a lot of the top people. And if you want to know, I will actually break down right now the best knowledge right now what's happening on the planet.
What's happening?
Let me give you a basic gestalt.
Okay. I love when you can use that word with full confidence. I've never said that. Let me give you a basic gestalt. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm such a fraud.
No, you're not.
No, but that's what I'd think if I use that word.
No, you'll get all this because you'll already have most of the static because you're a bookworm, a research worm, in a good way. The elite are all about transcendence and living forever and the secrets of the universe, and they want to know all this. Some are good, some are bad, some are a mix. But the good ones don't ever want to organize. The bad ones tend to want to organize because they lust after power. Powerful consciousnesses don't want to dominate other people. They want to empower them, so they don't tend to get together until things are really late in the game. Then they come together. Evil's always defeated because good is so much stronger. And we're on this planet, and Einstein's physics showed it, Max Planck's physics showed it, there's at least 12 dimensions. And now that's why all the top scientists and billionaires are coming out saying it's a false hologram. It is artificial. The computers are scanning it and finding tension points where it's artificially projected and gravity's bleeding in to this universe. That's what they call dark matter. So we're like a thought or a dream that's a wisp in some computer program, some God's mind, whatever. They're proving it all. It's all coming out. Now, there's like this sub-transmission zone below the third dimension that's just turned over to the most horrible things is what it resonates to. And it's trying to get up into the third dimension that's just a basic level consciousness to launch into the next levels. And our species is already way up in the fifth, sixth dimension, consciously our best people. But there's this big war trying to basically destroy humanity because humanity has free will and there's a decision to which level we want to go to. We have free will, so evil's allowed to come and contend, not just good. And the elites themselves believe they're racing using human technology to try to take our best minds and build some type of breakaway civilization where they're going to merge with machines, transcend, and break away from the failed species that is man, which is kind of like a false transmission because they're thinking what they are is ugly and bad, projecting it onto themselves instead of believing, no, it's a human test about building us up. And so Google was set up 18, 19 years ago. I knew about this before it was declassified. I'm just saying I have good sources. That they wanted to build a giant artificial system. And Google believes that the first artificial intelligence will be a supercomputer based on the neuron activities of the hive mind of humanity with billions of people wired into it with the Internet of Things. And so all of our thoughts go into it, and we're actually building a computer that has real neurons in real time that's also psychically connected to us, that are organic creatures, so that they will have current prediction powers, future prediction powers, a true crystal ball. But the big secret is, once you have a crystal ball and know the future, you can add stimuli beforehand and make decisions that control the future. And so then it's the end of consciousness and free will for individuals, as we know, and a true 2.0 in a very bad way, hive mind consciousness with an AI jacked into everyone, knowing our hopes and dreams, delivering it to us, not in some PKD wirehead system where we plug in and give up on consciousness because of unlimited pleasure, but because we were already wired in and absorbed before we knew it, by giving over our consciousness to the system by our daily decisions that it was able to manipulate and control into a larger system. There's now a human counterstrike taking place to shut this off before it gets fully into place, and to block these systems, and to try to have an actual debate about where humanity goes, and cut off the pedophiles and psychic vampires that are control of this AI system before humanity's destroyed.
Wait a minute,
humanity
the pedophiles
is only
in control of AI? How'd the pedophiles get in control of AI?
The pedophiles at a whatever level,
rule.
the devil, whatever you want to call it, this interdimensional thing that gives them advanced off-world technology, the fallen one that's not of this world, is on airplane. I thought they would go back and try to bring down the World Trade Center a second time, because in criminology, that's what happens. And they did have people on airplanes, and they were Islamicists, but it turns out they were CIA with double passports and were being protected. And they thought they were taking part in a hijacking drill that day. And then what really happened is they nerve gassed the people on the planes, from the best info we have, then remote controlled them into the towers. And then another one was supposed to hit the Pentagon, but despite the fact, and they have the stewardess recordings where they're saying, I can't breathe, there's gas. That's what's really happening again. But before they could do that, a F-16 put, and that's in the FAA recordings, put 2 AIM-9s into it and shot. Let me begin. Let me begin. This is really, I'm telling you, Joe, this is a real deal.
I believe you.
This is, you ask, who are they? It's people who are psychically, genetically available to interface in this incredibly diverse universe with all these dimensions above and below and all around us with consciousnesses. And the truth is, no energy is ever destroyed. It all continues on. The truth is, our bodies, this is a fact, are a communal hive organism of all of our ancestors and all of their race memories, but not in just some compressed epigenetic system. It's beyond that. It's an electrochemical antenna, they've proven this, that connects to higher and lower dimensions. So our bodysuit, because our predecessors wouldn't put us in a position without giving us a bodysuit that is them. Our families are loving us. They're holding us. They're wrapped all around us. Their strength, their will, their bad, their good, their sins, the good things they did, the battles they won, the battles they lost, the woman they loved, the man they loved. It's all in us, all these people. It's why we're able to look into so many things and have so many different experiences. And so all the shaman, all the ancient religions, everybody says there are the good ones and there are the bad ones, and people are interfacing. So you say, where does it begin? From the Tibetans to the Mesoamericans to the Egyptians to the Druids to every ancient society describes the same thing. There are bad things that look like elves that have horns when they show you who they really are, and there are good things, but they don't contact you unless you contact them, and then they're almost not even concerned with what you're doing. I never bought into this, looked into it. But then I began to think about, what did I hear when I was a kid? What did I see? What was coming out in government documents? What was being basically an intergalactic, this is their plan, people. These are demons. Just like the Bible says, it's basically an intergalactic invasion into this space through people. I'm telling you, it's what all the ancients said. It's what they warned of. It's what we're dealing with. They're demons. They're frickin' interdimensional invaders, okay? I'll just say it. Make fun of me all you want on CNN or wherever, but everyone already innately knows this. These people are not frickin' humans. 3 years ago, but I was shown 3 years ago what the University of Washington was doing under Bill Gates. And this is in the 90s.
What were they doing?
Dude, they don't even know what they're being given. It's intravenous.
So you think it's some sort of alien intervention type shit?
Dude, they to get even deeper, they turn your heart off for 5 minutes and they pump oxygen into your blood. And you're in the meetings. I've talked to people that are involved, top scientists. And you're in the meetings with frickin' aliens. Elves is the main group. But they're like,
so by shutting your heart off, it makes you have that psychedelic experience by keeping blood in your oxygen. It keeps you alive?
well, let's explain.
Okay.
The heart goes out, the body thinks it's dead.
Right.
So you can stay in longer. I don't know all the science behind it.
I understand.
But let's explain this. When
Lucky
you've
I don't
taken
either.
DMT or ayahuasca 200 times, like most are astronauts and test pilots aren't flying planes. Those are robots now. It's all mind war. So these dudes are like, it stops working once you've taken it hundreds of times. So then they start taking their most psychic people who are able to do this, and they turn their heart off. And then they put them into these events, and it's like the things the aliens tell them, they come out and they tell scientists, and it works. So,
like what kind of shit?
They didn't tell, let me tell you, you get killed for this stuff, Joe. This is not, the only thing they want me off the air. When I was a kid, 8, 9, whatever it was, this lady would come over that had known my parents since UT and was involved, and she'd talk about, yeah, we call it the Psychedelic Research Institute or whatever the name was, but it's really a CIA deal, and, you know, we just can't find people that can handle it. They're going in, the elves want this. And the elves want us to basically reduce population and agree to these certain plans, and it's all of us dehumanization. And they call them the elves. It's clockwork elves. And they're like, yeah, and I'm listening to my parents, you're like 7, 8 years old, like, they don't think you're listening, talking about, well, this is what the elves want, and this is what they're going to do. And the thing is, it's not my parents aren't that special. You go out to San Francisco. That's all there is, dude. It's a cult, man. All these guys you know from San Francisco, dude. You look at the head of Google or YouTube or freaking Apple. He's on TV. Tim Cook and his eyes are this big under lights, man. These guys are on stuff that like nobody even knows.
What do you think they're on?
Stuff they've been given. I mean, I know people at UT. They won't tell me specifically.